So the Witcher controls might not be so much of a problem. So I'm going to load up my regular save game, which is completed all the main story and all the DLCs as Henry. And I think we go and talk to Theresa to kick off the DLC. There's also an extra quest thrown in this for Henry. This came as part of... Oh, here we go. I'll read this out. This came as part of a big patch as well with some other stuff, some other good stuff. A Woman's Lot. Theresa's story is now active. You can launch the quest line by talking to Theresa. You'll be led to her by a symbol. Theresa is now looking after a dog. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I did hear you get a pet dog in this at Rat Eye Mill. She's hoping you take it over because her uncle, Miller Peshek, doesn't like the animal. Go and see Theresa and offer to help. A difficult fate awaits Johanka. To find out more, go and visit her at the monastery infirmary and look for her. Okay, so that was one of the other quests that I mentioned. There's also been some quality of life stuff being put into this. If you are a console player and had trouble picking locks with the controllers, they've now got an alternative controller mode that you can choose in the settings. I don't know if that's on PC, but it is on console. So some good stuff. Some good stuff come in this. Not just the DLC, but there was a patch came with it as well. Okay, so we shouldn't be far from Rat Eye Mill. We are recording. Yeah, everything looks okay. Let me know if anything's too quiet, too loud, not displaying on stream properly. As I say, it's been a while since I've played this. See if I can remember how to get my horse. No, it's not with the E key, alright? It actually does say down there, X. Oh god, how many times am I going to pickpocket and accidentally murder people and strangle them and knock them out in this before I get my muscle memory for the controls back? This could be a rough ride, folks. So stick with us. Where's my tan? Well, I'm a Yorkshireman. I don't tan that quickly. Also, I make sure I'm lathered up with sun cream, which doesn't stop you tanning, but it probably slows it down a bit. It was beautiful weather, though. It was nice. Went to Menorca, which was a little bit warmer than it is here for the time of year, but it's not red hot. I expected it to be a bit hotter, but I didn't do my research on the weather beforehand. It was quite windy, but then it's an island in the middle of the sea, so I should be used to that. But yeah, it was really, really nice. Sea was a bit cold for swimming in, but it was okay. Hey, Seahorn, nice to see you. At least there are no goats in this game. There are goats in this game. I just don't think you can molest them like you can in The Witcher. Well, actually, are there goats in this game? There's definitely sheep. I won't bother looking at the tanner's place. I'm sure have I not looted goat hide and stuff out of this? Maybe not. You know what there aren't in this game? And most people don't realise, and I didn't realise until it was pointed out to me after I finished it, long after I finished it. Okay, E doesn't get off the horse either. There's no children in this game. Not a single one. And I'm guessing, because the game is so open for you to interact with every single character, I'm guessing that was a deliberate choice to stop people going around killing them, molesting them, murdering them, robbing them. I don't know. Yeah, it's a bit goatless. This is our dog, look. Some sort of hound.
Hey, lad.
What an ugly
Don't you want a little
mutt.
wager on the Rattay tourney?
No, we don't. We're not interested in the Rattay tourney. Thank you very much. Although I could play it a few more times. No, we want to see what's going on with Theresa. Is she upstairs in bed? What time of day is it? And how do I find out? Is it map? Map. There we go. Nope, that's not going to tell me the time of day. It's rest. There we go. It's currently... Okay, it's currently evening time, so she might be up here. Here goes Henry in his plate mail. Apparently she's not. Here he goes down again. There are a few new markers on the map. Yeah, there should be a few different quests. There should be one. Is she lurking behind here? Now, this is going to be pretty... Actually, she stood up to talk. That's good. Let's get her now before she sits down again. Okay.
Henry, I'm so glad to see you.
Glad to hear it. This is going to be good because I feel like the quest line with Theresa was kind of cut a bit short after we had that romantic interlude in the barn. So, how do you mind? All right, that's going to start the quest. Actually, there's quite a bit more to talk about, so let's start with the dog.
What's that dog you have here? He looks familiar.
Don't you remember him? It's Mart.
The butcher's dog from Skalitz.
Ah, of course. When I went back to bury my parents, he was guarding his master's dead body.
I remember that.
A faithful dog. How come he's here?
When we carted you here, we took Mutt along too. He's been hanging around the mill ever since.
Maybe it's just because I haven't played this for a long time, but her voice sounds slightly different, as if they'd recorded it on a completely different microphone or a different studio.
What does the miller have to say about it?
He can't stand him.
How's that?
Every time he sees him, he starts shouting that he's a useless mouth to feed and that'll skin him.
Jesus.
And it didn't even soften his heart when Mutt brought a hare from the woods.
He was happy to eat it, but it didn't change his mind.
I could have a word with him.
That would be a waste of time.
Who cares about the miller? Hey, Modgefather, thank you very much for 11 months of subscription. That's awesome. Getting on for a year now. Nearly a year. Thanks, man. Look out of the window. What, of the house? Or are you talking about my window?
Does he obey you?
Me? Not much. He's got a mind of his own, and I'm just not strict enough.
Ah, spoilt then.
No, he just hasn't learned many commands. But he's well able to beg for a piece of meat.
Yeah, well, I was going to make some crude joke about lots of women begging for a piece of Henry's meat in this game, but I thought better of it. Let's see.
How's he doing?
A lot better now. I slipped him something good now and again when Uncle wasn't looking.
He won't starve to death.
Again,
then?
I will resist.
How long has he been with you?
More or less since we came here.
He runs off now and again, but he always comes back.
Sometimes I don't see him all day.
I think he likes to go wandering.
So he's doing quite well then?
Yeah. I'd keep him, but he reminds me too much of Tinker, you know?
No.
I don't want to think about Skalitz.
Who was Tinker?
So, I thought maybe you might take him with you?
Me?
I'm sure the two of you would get on great. He's a handsome fella and lovable. I'd be very happy if you had him.
But we never had a dog at the smithy. We never needed one.
Come on. He's got no one.
Yes, let's take him. I'm not going to be playing
all
much
right.
Henry tonight anyway.
I'll take him. He can keep me company on my travels.
Thanks, Henry. Go and get him then. He's sniffing around somewhere here.
Right, so Henry's got a dog. Never mind that. Oi, come back. We've got more to talk about. Let's see where this takes us.
About that evening.
Ah, yes. I never thanked you properly for helping me with the laundry. That storm would have carried it off to God knows where.
Oh, I think you thanked me enough. But next time we should take shelter somewhere else. That hayseed gets into places it shouldn't and itches like mad.
Henry, you donkey. You really know how to sweet-talk a girl, don't you?
And anyway, what do you mean by next time? Just what exactly do you have in mind for the two of us?
You mean that was a one-off? She used me? Dogging DLC? Don't give them any ideas. Yeah, I think Henry wants to be with Theresa. I think that's the plan
Well,
of
we'll
this.
be together. Like a couple. And when the time comes, you'll take me as your husband, right?
You're full of yourself, aren't you? But that's not how things are done.
Well, obviously,
Really?
under normal circumstances, I'd ask your pa for your hand, but...
Papa? Yes. He'd set the dogs on you.
Now you'd have to get Uncle Peshek's blessing.
I reckon I'd have no better luck with him. Unless he saw a way to profit from it.
And I'd have a sack of flour for my dowry.
But seriously, Henry, what kind of husband would you make? You can't sit still in one place for an hour at a time.
That's
Well,
true.
I've got a lot of duties, but... I'm very fond of you, you know. And maybe one day...
I know, you silly sod. We can't get married yet. But we can still see each other.
In
and
sin.
be fond of each other.
Hey, Charles here. Nice to see you. It's been a while. Yeah, it does. I kind of missed streaming last week and playing some games. Can you repair my clothes? Would you like to go somewhere? I feel like, before we get into the DLC, let's just explore the rest of these conversations.
Wouldn't you like
See
to
where
take
they
a
go.
stroll somewhere?
I'd love to.
Because remember, after that romantic night, what the hell? Okay, that's straight to the inn. Okay. To the point. Remember, after the last romantic interlude they had, you couldn't talk to Theresa in the game ever again. Or could you?
Listen, Theresa, there's something I ought to tell you.
What is it? What's troubling you?
I've been shagging around. No? Okay.
I'm not quite sure how to tell you, so I'll just spit it out. So Radzig Kobyla is my father.
She should have heard by now.
And King Wenceslas is my cousin. Oh, you really had me going.
No, I'm serious.
What? But, Henry, how on earth could...
I know, it was a shock for me too. It turns out Sir Radzig and my mother had some romance. Of course, he couldn't marry a commoner.
And your father?
Like father, like
I
son.
mean the blacksmith. God, that sounds so odd. I mean Martin.
He knew Sir Radzig from way back. Martin,
Is that?
Pa, married her before I was born to protect her reputation and raise me as his own.
And Sir Radzig allowed it?
Sure. Actually, I get a feeling the whole thing was agreed between them. Sir Radzig was glad she wasn't left alone with a child.
My God, Henry. That's just... And what will that mean for you?
I honestly don't know.
You don't know?
Well, it all depends on Sir Radzig, doesn't it? As his illegitimate son, I don't have any rights as such. Well, it's not like I've suddenly become a noble like Capon. And even though Sir Radzig has publicly acknowledged me, well, sort of, it hasn't really changed anything.
And if Sir Radzig decided to make a real noble of you, would you want that?
That's a good question. That is a good question. I don't know how to answer that. Isn't Henry an MVP now? Who wouldn't want to give his daughter to him? That is a very good point. But at the same time, if Henry is true nobility, I don't think Radzig would want him marrying a miller's daughter, or a miller's niece in this case. Would Henry like to be a lord? I think he likes going and getting drunk with people. I say no.
I wouldn't. And it's never going to happen anyway.
Why not?
A bastard remains a bastard. Even if Sir Radzig never had another heir, all his property would go to the king by rights.
You might be right, but can't you imagine it?
Would you still care for me, a common millmaid, if you were a nobleman?
I'm dying to say no chance. Yeah, let's be nice though.
Of course. I'll always be fond of you. Nothing will change that.
I'll remember that. I hope you won't regret those words.
No fear of that.
So all of a sudden, she wants a piece of Henry now that she knows he's going to be, or he's got noble blood in his veins. I don't know, these fickle women. It's a damn long walk. Sure, there was a closer inn they could have gone to. So anyway, that does kind of tie up, I think, the relationship between them two. That should have been in the
I
game
must go, Henry.
to start with,
Take care.
I think. So it's good that that's been put in. Now, never mind. We're not finished yet. Oi, come back here. Come back. I can't talk to her.
What the?
Oi. This is what you get for spilling your heart to the woman you love, I think. You get the door slammed in your face.
Hey, lad.
I've got something
Don't
for
wanna
you.
do wait
All right.
till
I know
latte,
this is your
Tony.
favourite.
It is indeed. Thank you.
Hell, she just pulled out there. 3 saviour schnapps. Okay. That sounds like we might need those. We don't need to go for any more chats. Let's get on to the meat and veg
What
of this
actually happened to
DLC.
you in Skalitz? I mean, during the attack and... Well, you know.
That's a long story. Not a very cheerful one.
Are you sure you want to hear it now?
Let's go.
I do.
All right, then.
Story time, folks. Apparently there's a lot
Was a
of
day like any other.
cutscenes in this.
Another ordinary day in my ordinary life.
It's Robert Baratheon.
I awoke at first light, before the others. I like those kind of mornings best.
It's like something out of a musical, this.
When the first rays of sunshine quickly drive away the nighttime cold.
It's too much Hollywood. It's all going to go bad.
And the breeze carries the scent of dew-covered grass and the bloom of spring. Oh, look at you. Aren't you a nice boy? I wanted to get my chores done before the rest of the household was up. And this morning seemed made for that very purpose.
It's all too idyllic. It's going to go bad.
Right, better get to work. I have to feed the hens, weed the garden, feed Tinker. I'd better
I
get
just
it all
realised I
done
got my
before the
frame
ball's
rate
up.
showing up there. I shall turn that off. There's no need to see that. What's this under? Graphic settings? Show FPS. Yes. Good. Right, you discovered the miller. So this is basically a flashback. We're back in Skalitz before it gets trashed by the humans. I think it's on the day of the humans' attack. And we're going to replay Theresa's memories and find out what happened to her in the full story. Can I pinch that? Right, let me just figure out what we're going to do. We've got to weed the garden, get the chicken feed, look in the pantry and feed Tinker. So let's start with weeding the garden. This sounds like fun, doesn't it? Actually, we'll have a look in the pantry first. He's in the shadow. Hang on. Look at this. Let me sprint. Watch your arms. Oh, look. Shit, they've even got a running like a... Oh, no, I can't say that. I can't say running like a girl. I kind of can say that because my eldest daughter runs a bit like that. Right, what was I looking in the pantry
I must
for?
bring Tinker a piece of meat. That'll be a nice treat.
A piece of meat. Any old random piece of meat. Tinker. So this is the Tinker that she mentioned earlier. Let's go seek.
Let's see what you can sniff out here.
Seek.
I think you can use your dog. Your dog is now able to seek out interesting undiscovered places. Once he catches a scent, he'll go on ahead and lead you to them, then bark to alert you to what he's found. If you can't find him, he'll soon come back anyway. Yeah, the dog is there for finding loot, apparently. Has he got the scent? You got the scent, boy? No? Yes? I can imagine you're wandering around following a dog for ages and it finds like a dead hare or something. Is that it? Food.
Look what I've got for you. You'll love this.
A piece of meat. That's a hell of a steak to give to the dog. So if you feed your dog, it keeps its morale up, or its obedience up, I think. And the more obedient it is, the more it responds to these
Good
commands and
fella.
stuff.
That's my boy.
What other commands have we got? Aggressive. Heal. Free. Let's go free.
Come along. Free.
I've never known a dog that responded to a free. Or aggressive, for that matter. The most useful dog command, now he will help you whenever he can. He'll defend himself when attacked and help keep enemies busy. He'll run with you of his own accord while having some freedom deciding what to do. That sounds pretty good. Okay, let's see what the dog does. Maybe I should go and get some spare meat to feed him in future. Theresa's arms flapping about as I sprint around are just making me laugh. I might as well take plenty of food, actually, because... Take all. Knowing what's coming. No point leaving it here. What about that nice looking ham? Right, okay, so we've fed the dog. We've been in the pantry. We're washing in a trough. I wonder what happens if Theresa goes to the baths. I think we might have to try that. Now, where's this garden I'm supposed to weed? Is this it down here? This looks like it. No? No! No! I want to talk to the damn dog. Is that dog going to get under my feet every time I want to do stuff? Weed. Hey, Echo Lasky. Nice to see you again. Howdy, Mark, AJ, Beltran, or whatever you wish to call yourself. Beltran? Who the hell's called Beltran? That's not a name I think I've ever come across. But, yeah, once again, we're sticking with Mark, and this dog is going to get on my bloody nerves if he keeps doing that. He keeps running underneath my pointer. So I think I have to get all the weeds out of this garden. I remember, I think, am I right in thinking that, oh, we've got a sidekicks bar up here. Dog, sense of smell 17, obedience 94. Current command for interesting. Don't have a horse. Do I have, yes, I have a player. Right, so Theresa starts as a level 2. She's got sod all ability points. Visibility, I wonder if I can change clothes. Yeah, I think I can get some different clothes to sneak around in later. Which is going to be quite important. Combat. She got a bit of skill with a bow. Okay. Herbalism. Houndmaster. Can I pick one of these yet? Don't know. We'll have a look. We'll come to that. I'm sure it'll tell me later. A bit of maintenance. Not a lot of anything. Hey, Harmless. Nice to see you again. I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. How are you? My first stream since getting back from holiday, which was, it was on Saturday, but that was also my dad's birthday. So it was get back, spend hours getting back through passport checks at Manchester Airport, which was, I've never known it be that long, ever. And yeah, then rush back to go and see my dad. So it was a bit of a rush. My scandalous Mediterranean holiday, it was surprisingly not very scandalous. It was really nice. Just good chilled out time. Loads to eat. Way too much to eat. But by God, it was good. First time I've ever done one like those all-inclusive holidays where all your meals and drinks and everything are included, as long as you stay within the hotel. Damn dog. I'm gonna get him out of the way. I'm gonna go and tell him to stay. So I can just weed the damn garden. It's just like a real dog. It gets right under your feet all the time. So yeah, it's the first time we'd ever done a all-inclusive holiday. And it's a bit of a gamble, because if the food turns out to be rubbish, you're kind of stuck with it. You've paid for it, or you go and spend more elsewhere. But the food was amazing. It was just everything. Everything we could have wanted. Anything particularly memorable gastronomically?
How it should again.
What did they have? All sorts of like Spanish like cakes and pastries, which I've never seen anywhere. And yeah, we actually went into the local town as well to a proper baker's and got some, I don't know what they were called, but there was like a really nice, like a little apricot tart and an apple and custard tart, and a little madeleine full of dark chocolate fondant. Oh, it was good. It was so good. Those were really nice, but just everything, all the paellas, the seafoods, the salads, the puddings, the desserts, the drinks, everything was just so good. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Thanks, Trollsium. Yeah, the Spaniards have some very nice desserts. It was, those were really good. The amount of like fresh fruit used in them is good. We used to have really nice places like that in the UK, but unfortunately they've all gone by the by. All the little independent bakers have gone to replace by chains like Greg's and stuff, which is all right if you want a sausage roll, but not so clever if you want some really, really nice sort of handcrafted pastries and cakes. Not that I need to be eating more cakes at the moment. I have had my share of them, and now need to try and work them off in the gym. Don't forget to set the dog free. That's a good point. Actually, can I do it from this screen? Sidekicks. Can I queue info? Current weight. Your dog is currently on this long-term command. I don't think I can. Which would make sense. You couldn't... I suppose you could shout at the dog. Should be alright now anyway. I'm not picking stuff up from the ground. Seek, stay, other commands, free.
Come along, free.
I've got to say, it looks a little bit better animated and sounds better than that weird dog they had in the... Was it the Hans Capon DLC? Remember that dog in the village that wouldn't stop howling? What are you digging for? What are you digging for, boy? Oi! Oh, I thought it was going to dig something up there. A nettle. You could murder a pork pie right now? Oh, no. Pork pies. I briefly, for 2 weeks, worked in a pork pie factory. And for most of that was just on packing. So, it wasn't too bad. But we did one run on production. And I have never eaten a pork pie since. And never intend to. Ever again. Having seen what goes on in the places where they're made. If you got one from a proper butcher's, where everything was sort of more like handmade, handcrafted, it'd be fine. I'm sure. Can I wake father?
No, I should finish my chores and not wake anyone.
Get out of it. Can I open this? A bludgeon might be useful. And a bandage. I can take these without stealing, right? What's that? What the hell's in there? Nothing? Right, let me take a little look at the quests. Nice view looking straight to ground to feet, or could it be better? You mean like the way I'm playing Theresa, just weeding the garden? Did you mean then? No. Let's have a look. Get the chicken feed. Okay. Where, pray tell, is the chicken feed? Is it in the damned house? Oh, I don't think I want to be going down through the mill. Oh, hang on. There we go. I'm following... Oh, it's not up here, is it? Now that you talk about it, you think a pork pie made with Creole Spanish roast pork would be something incredible. Oh, that reminds me of something I did have. That's not it, is it? No. Chicken feed in sacks? No. Oh. Ah. Yep, we'll take all that. Thank you very much. That'll all come in handy. I had... Whoops. Ouch. Oh, I don't have any sort of self-healing talents like Henry did. I'm going to have to be careful doing stuff like that. Is it just chicken feed? It's got to be here, right? Oh, what's that one? Pick up. No, it's an apple. We had pig's cheeks. That was on the menu one night. Well, I say menu. It was like just like a buffet, but they had such a lovely variety of dishes on all the time. Why am I struggling so much to find this? Oh, is this it? Chicken feed. There we go. Yeah, pig's cheeks, which I've never had before. And it was just like really tender, slow-cooked pork. It was delicious. Get the chicken feed, feed the chickens.
Here, chickie, chickie, chickie. Here you are, girls. Fill your beaks.
That shadow when running kind of creeps you out. So we see it again. Whee!